Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Hello. Welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back, guys.
Thanks for being here. We have a long-awaited video.
You think it's
today.
long-awaited?
Yes. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you have, because Lindsay did a curly hair tutorial and it blew up. You guys blew it
Or maybe right
up. Yeah, we'll link it here. And you guys commented so much with, I don't know why I'm talking, but you guys commented so much with questions for Lindsay. And I was like, we need to do a curly hair tutorial.
Yeah, Case was like, there's so many comments and questions on it that it would be helpful if we did a Q&A about curly hair. And I think what we're gonna do is like go over some tips for beginners, because I know that that's probably where a lot of you are starting if you're searching on YouTube. And then we'll also do like rapid fire Q&A at the end of it.
Yeah, and I'm here for moral support.
Yes,
we got our. We'll be asking her the Q&A questions, but she's the expert.
But I think it's helpful having Case around too, because she was like, wait, you need to ask this question, because she kind of like flags questions that she thinks will be helpful. Because for me, it's hard for me to tell, because it's just like all the.
And I'll clarify any lingo that's going on, because
there's
a lot of lingo going on.
There is
lingo.
There
is curly hair lingo.
But if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you want more curly content. Let's just get into the video, right?
Yes.
Starting us off on our, I feel like I'm like teaching right now. Like,
you are.
First thing that I want to talk about is learning about your curl type. I think that this is the most helpful place to start, so you can kind of choose products and styling techniques specific to your hair when you know more about it. Like my hair is a 2C3. Oh yeah. 3A. 2C3A. And that's helpful. And then also knowing if you have fine hair versus thick hair, if your hair is high porosity or low porosity. When I started out, I used naturallycurly.com, and you can take a quiz, and we can even link it down in the description.
Yeah, that's good to know.
And it'll tell you all the information about your hair, and then you can choose products and styling techniques based on that. But I think that learning more about your curls and then following like some influencer or like searching on YouTube. When I started out, the best thing that I did was following people who have similar hair to me. A lot of curly hair influencers will put in their like bio, like 3A curls, high porosity, and following people who have similar hair to you and learning like what techniques they use, what products they use, and kind of feeding off of that, or even like joining some type of curly community, even books, is really helpful, just so you can start to learn more. Yeah. Like that's where you have to start. Like you have to start by learning more, but like don't dive too deep, because it can get really, it can get like a lot.
No, that's really cool. I think that's a good idea, because there's much more to know about curly hair than there is straight hair, I feel like.
No, I feel like hair in general, like there's so much to learn. No. It's not just curly hair.
Do straight hair people have a hair type?
Yes.
So I have like a...
You don't have like a curl type, but you do have like fine hair versus thick hair. Yeah. You have like different density. Density means like how many actual strands there are on your scalp. Yeah.
So you're really dense.
She's dense. Okay, so that's number one. Also, I'm gonna put in this one to photograph. Like start now by taking photos of your progress. So you can kind of, because sometimes in the moment you don't realize how much progress you've actually made. Like my favorite thing is to look back on photos and then be like, wow, like I didn't realize how far I've come.
Yeah.
So like start documenting your progress. That like ties it. So next like topic, I started off by removing silicones and sulfates. And this is important too for like non-curlies to know, because these things can happen with your hair too. But sulfates are what's gonna strip your hair. It's what's in your shampoos. So it's like super cleansing, but it strips your hair of its natural oils, and especially for curly hair, it's harder for the oil to travel down your hair strands because it's like doing that. And so it's really important for you to not be stripping your scalp all the time. So find a shampoo that is a little bit more gentle and is sulfate free. And then for silicone is what, it's like a coating that's in your conditioners or like your moisturizing products that will coat your strands. But when you coat it in a silicone, unless you're removing that silicone with a sulfate, the moisturizers that you put on top of your hair can't penetrate to actually reach the strand. So it almost feels like a vicious cycle when you're using sulfates and silicones.
Yeah.
Like you need the sulfate to get rid of the silicone, but like the silicone is preventing your hair from like getting any moisture.
Wow, And it's a total catfish, because if you're like really cleansing, it feels really nice, or if you're like
Yeah.
really coating your strands,
And
it feels
even,
really nice.
yes, and like silicones feel really nice on your hair. It's like what makes it feel like that slippery, like smooth context.
Seaweedy
Seaweedy,
texture, which you said in the last video, and I always think about that in the shower.
Yeah, there's other things that you could do, but just as a basis, I think silicones and sulfates are what you should remove. So something to remove is your dead ends. A lot of people refer to this as a big chop in the curly community, especially for like keratin treated hair, which like permanently straightens the strands. You can literally notice like the new hairs that grow in are curly, and then it'll be like straight from here down.
Wow.
And then they just like chop that off. I never really did a big chop, but I just like went in and got trims more regularly. You can even kind of see on mine, like when you get to this like little end right here, they stop actually curling, and it's just kind of dead weight for your other curls up top to be holding that are stretching them out. So you want to like remove that dead weight. It's important to go to someone who specializes in curly cuts when you do go get your hair cut, because then you can also learn more. Like they'll teach you more about your hair too. I need to get water. Yes.
This girl's teaching a whole damn lesson over here.
To protect your curls, a really good thing to do is minimize your heat. When I first started out, I don't think that I almost feel like I transitioned into curly hair like before I officially started in February of 2020, when I was like actually like, okay, I want to style my hair curly now. Before that, I was really trying to minimize my heat, and like I wore it back a lot. So I feel like I almost like took that little mini step where I was like not officially going like curly hair, but I just like was being more mindful about using less heat and wearing my hair natural, but just like pulling it back.
Whereas before you were styling your hair with heat mostly,
Yeah,
when
like
you were doing it.
Every day, yeah.
So that's a big step, going from styling with heat every day
100%.
to just...
Okay, what else can you do? You can also sleep with a silk pillowcase. This is for like all hair types. I feel like all hair types should be doing this. Sleeping with like a silk pillowcase, or sleeping with your hair up in like a pineapple if you have curly hair, which is just like when you wear it on like a really high bun right here. Also, I think it's really helpful to use really loose types of hair ties. So like I like the ones that are like the squigglies that look like that.
I stole one from you.
Aren't they good?
They're really good.
They're
yeah.
really good.
I do like them.
Or even like a scrunchie, something that's like really loose and really gentle on your curls. So you can add those things in to kind of protect them and help their like longevity, so you're not damaging your curls. Ultimately, what you're doing throughout this entire process is just helping your curls heal, because you've damaged them, most likely. If you're like me, I really damaged my curls through like curling it all the time. Like remember when, before I started wearing my hair curly, every time anyone saw me it was straight or curled.
Yeah. I'll never forget Lindsay calling me when you first started working at Nordstrom. You were like, I don't know what I'm gonna do like to style my hair every day. Like I'm really, she was really stressed about it.
That's even what started my curly hair, because I was like, I can't go to work every day and wake up an hour early and style my hair. Like it's just not feasible.
Yeah, no.
So that's when I started, was when I was working at Nordstrom. As far as styling, when you're starting out, I feel like it's really overwhelming how many products you can have. I think that when you start out, there's 5 products that you should stick to. It's gonna be your shampoo, your conditioner, a moisturizing agent, so that could be like a leave-in or a curl cream, and then your hold agent, which could be a gel or a mousse. Or a mousse. And then your oil, so like to seal in your style. And I think that the best tools for you to start out with, like when I started using a Denman brush, that like changed the game for me. Swear to God.
That is
like
so
that's
cool.
something that I was like, wow. Like
made
such a big difference in my styling. And then I also think that having a spray bottle, I think it's really helpful when you're starting out to style your hair on like sopping wet hair. And then you can also use your spray bottle for like refresh days. You can use it for apple cider vinegar rinses. If you style, that's like another thing that I feel like changed the game for me, was styling my hair on like dripping wet hair. Like when I was styling my hair, I was making a mess in the bathroom because it was so wet. But like my hair was so dry and damaged that it needed that water, it needed that moisture. So I would section, and like on my top section I would have to re-wet it with a spray bottle. So having like a spray bottle and a Denman brush are 2 tools that I think are really helpful for people starting out. And then 2 treatments that I feel like are really helpful starting out are a deep conditioner. Like get a really good deep conditioner and use that once a week. And then also, I know I talk about this all the time, but an apple cider vinegar rinse, that's something else that like changed the game for me. When I started doing an apple cider vinegar rinse, like on my best hair wash days, I will do an apple cider vinegar rinse because I know that it makes my hair look the best.
When you like want, or if you're like having an event or something, you're
yes.
gonna do. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
like I'll do an apple cider vinegar rinse before because my hair looks so shiny, so defined. It makes your products work better. Like it makes them work how they're intended to because there's no product buildup on your strands.
That's amazing. I even did it because Lindsay does apple cider vinegar rinses, and I did it because I get a lot of buildup in the crown of my head, and I have really fine hair. And oh my gosh, literally probably the only thing that got my buildup to go away.
I know. And it's weird because it's like a kitchen item, but I've tried other clarifying shampoos, and like I swear to God that an apple cider vinegar rinse works better. A couple other things to keep in mind when you're shopping for like products. One is save your receipts, because if things don't work, then like you want to be able to return them. Like it sucks when you buy a product and you're like, wow, this just isn't fit for my hair. So save your receipts. And then 2, I feel like it can be really overwhelming with all the products that you feel like you need to buy. So like get those 5 staple things and then just work on testing different techniques to see what works best for your hair, so that you're not constantly like feeling like you need to buy another product in order for your hair to be the way that you want it to be. Like focus more on technique and refining your technique than you do like searching for the perfect product, because you're gonna find more in the technique than you will the product.
That's such a good tip.
You
I
know?
need to do that with my skincare. That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. I'm like, that's so right.
Isn't it crazy because our hair is really like an extension of our skin?
It is,
Yeah.
It
In
totally
like a weird
is.
way. Okay, so that's on like the styling. Tips specifically, I think when you're starting out, the things that you struggle most with are combating frizz. I always have people message me being like, what do you do for frizz? Like by this amount of time, like my hair is frizzy. But okay, so I want to give some tips on frizz, and then also for volume. I think that when you're first starting out, that's something that you're really looking forward for too, is because curls, like if you don't have volume, they just look like attached to your head. I don't know.
Weighed down.
Yeah, like you want your curls to bounce, you want that volume, and then you also don't want frizz. So tips for frizz first are to start sleeping with a silk pillowcase. I know that I mentioned this earlier, but it really does help. When I first started out, I didn't even have a silk pillowcase. I literally just had like a silk skirt that I was like putting over my pillowcase to like make do with what you got. And then also when you're finishing your styling, so like the last step in your styling routine should always be an oil, so that you're sealing your style in, so that the oil will block any of like the humidity or basically like any of the elements from kind of like roughing up your curls. So finish your styling with an oil.
Does keeping your hair really hydrated help with frizz?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, that was going to be one of my tips too.
Oh.
I know I mentioned this earlier before too, but seriously, styling on like soaking wet hair is like what I think makes my hair not frizzy. And then I also have talked about this in the curly hair routine video, but when you're conditioning, really massaging the conditioner into your hair strands, like literally like rubbing them and like working it in for a good 5 minutes. I think that that really helps with the moisturization of your curls too. And then lastly, when you're drying your hair or drying your curls, try not to like rough it up. So like
if you're like doing the diffusing, be really gentle.
Yeah, so be gentle when you're diffusing, like hover diffuse, which means like to just like hover the diffuser head like over your curls first. And then you'll go in like once it's 50% dry or 75% dry, like however much you want, and then you can go in and start to like get the diffuser head and like put it into your curls like that. So
good tip.
Okay, so then tips for volume, which I feel like is the other thing that people really struggle with when they're starting out, is basically going to be like a consistent theme for these tips. It's just going to be like you don't want your roots of your hair to be like settled on your scalp. So like after I get out of the shower, I did this in my the curly hair routine video. But after I'm done and I put my leave-in, I always put my leave-in while I'm in the shower. I'll like flip my hair upside down, shake out my roots, and then I'll get out of the shower and go into my styling. And then when you're styling, I think it really helps to create volume by sectioning out your hair. We'll section like the top and the bottom, and I feel like that really helps it so that not all of your hair is sticking together.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
yeah,
it kind of helps separate your curls, yeah. And then when I'm actually styling my hair, I try to brush out with the Denman brush away from my scalp at like a 90-degree angle. And you can also like watch that in the curly hair routine video too, but I like brush out at a 90-degree angle so that like I'm not brushing down, so like none of my hair is really like sticking on my scalp.
I guess that's kind of like doing a blowout in a way, you know?
Yeah, like when you blow out, like
giving yourself more volume.
Yeah, like they do it. Yeah, exactly. Like when they blow out, they really do it at like up and stuff.
It's such a technique.
I know. Okay, and then another tip for volume is to shake out your roots. Like you can even use like a pick. Sometimes I'll use a pick. And this is when your hair is already dry. So once your hair's already dry, you can like shake out your roots. And then like even remember when I came here this morning, my hair looked so like,
yeah.
And then I like shook it all out and you were like, wow, like
it
it's
literally
huge.
just got it, yeah. And I've also seen you use the pick and it's wild. Like,
yeah.
She just like gently like puts it in there, but like does it a bunch and then it's like.
And then last thing is that I feel like this is a really basic tip, but I don't know, maybe it's like obvious, but sometimes I forget to do this, is when you have a hold product in like a mousse or a gel, you want to make sure that you break that cast. So when it dries, it'll harden into this cast and your curls get bigger because they're not being like sucked in how they dried. So once your hair is dry, just make sure that you like break up the cast.
So how are you breaking up the cast? Like just with your hands?
I put a little bit of oil on my hands and then I'll like scrunch. So that's like the last step, the sealing, the oil. I seal and I use the oil when I break up the cast.
Ooh. For volume.
For volume.
And what's
my moon.
Great tip.
I think that that's it. There was one more thing that I wanted to kind of extend upon, which is I feel like no one really mentioned this when I first started out. I wish that someone did because it would have given me a little bit more hope, because when I first started out, I was doing so many things to my hair. It was a lot of work. Now that I've been curly for over like almost 2 years, I wish that someone would have mentioned that once your curls start healing, you don't have to be so uptight about them in a way. Okay. Like sometimes when I go to sleep, I don't put my hair up in a pineapple. Sometimes when I go to sleep, I sleep on a regular pillowcase and not a silk pillowcase, which is even so crazy because when I first started out, if I would sleep without a pineapple in, then my curls would just be like completely ruined. But now they hold their curl longer.
Oh my god, so they're like healed.
So they're healing, yeah. I used to section out 3 sections and now I only section out 2. And like I used to use like a double moisturizing agent for my cream and now I only use 1. So like as your curls start to heal, they become less high maintenance.
Yeah, so it's like more work in the beginning, but then once they're healed, it's like much
you can
more
start like letting up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really nice. Yeah, if you're feeling like it's a lot of work, then there's light. There
is some light at the end of the tunnel. If that gives you any hope. Although this is like, if anything's gonna stress you out, it's this video.
No, but these are all really like good tips.
And you take one thing at a time, like especially with like different techniques, like try one thing at a time so that you know what's actually working. Yeah. Like don't try like a bunch of new things at once, because then it's like, oh well, which one of it did it work on this wash day that's making my hair so much better, like look really good.
Yeah. Lindsay actually won best hair in high school. I think you put that in the last one.
You told that out in the last one.
I know, but it's true. Like this is a true expert. Should we do some rapid fire cues?
Yeah, we can do some rapid cues.
Okay, so these are some cues you guys left on the video.
Something you left on the video, and then I also got some from my Instagram too because I asked.
Okay. So it says, is my curl routine the same as when I start? Oh, is your curl routine the same as when you started?
Oh, yes. Yes, my curl routine is basically the same. I literally use the same exact technique as I did when I started. And I've tried other techniques, but I just always come back to like the OG technique that I use, which is in the curly hair routine video. And there's like a couple of products that I interchange, but for the most part, I use the same exact products.
That's good.
Which I can even tell you because I feel like this is a common question.
Yeah, true.
I use the Inner Sense shampoo, the Pure Harmony Hair Bath shampoo. I use the Inner Sense cream conditioner, hydrating cream conditioner. For my leave-in, I use the Bounce Curl Moisture Leave-In. For my curl cream, I use the Clump and Define cream from Bounce Curl as well. And then I use the LA Hold gel that you can literally buy at Whole Foods. For oil, I like Josie Marin's Argan Oil.
We'll link it all in the description
Yeah,
box.
we can put it all in the description box below.
Can I use the Intersen shampoo? I need a new shampoo.
Yes, it's really good.
I actually saw another girl talk about that on...
They also have one for color too, like specifically for color.
Should I get that one?
I love their products. I also just recently tried their gel, their I Create Hold, which is what I'm actually wearing today. And what I'm wearing today, what I have in my hair today, and I really like it too.
How long did it take for your curls to change?
That's such a good question. I feel like I need to, I should have looked this up before we started. I started in February of 2020, and I think I really started noticing a big difference in June of 2020, and I don't think it's a coincidence that I also got a haircut that month too. So I think that really made like my curls pop up.
Yeah, they were like, we're ready to come out.
We're here and we're ready to go.
We're here.
But it does depend. Like, it depends on
True.
how damaged your hair is, and like, and sometimes it probably won't even take you that long if your hair is really not that damaged.
Okay, it says, how do you style the front?
I actually get asked this a lot, and I think that it's because oh wait, we're getting 2 flashing lights of doom. The battery's gonna run out, and then it's gonna reset us. Okay, hold on. And we're back.
And we're back.
I actually get asked this a lot, and I think that it's because the front of my hair, like right here, almost looks straight, but I really don't do anything differently. I don't necessarily do anything specific, but I also don't do anything to like enhance my curls there because I like it to be a little bit straighter. So when I like use my Denman brush to like brush it out, I don't brush it with like a curl like I do with all the other ones. Like with the other ones, I'll kind of like curve the brush in towards like the curl pattern. But with these ones, I literally just brush them straight.
Like almost brush it out.
Yeah, like I almost just like brush out the curl, and then when I'm scrunching my hair, I try and just like not scrunch this. It still has some type of curl, but I just try and like not scrunch it as much as I do all the other curls. But also everything on the crown of my hair may just still be like healing, because nothing on the top really curls as much as the bottom. Like my hair is just generally curly, more curly underneath than it is on the top. And then when I brush it, we can get specific here. I'll take the brush and I'll literally just go like that underneath of it.
What kind of haircut do you ask for?
I ask for a rounded haircut, and I like to bring pictures because I'll just like usually bring a photo of like whose hair I want my hair to look like. But I'll ask for a rounded cut. I'll ask for layers throughout. So like I have some layers that are like up to here, and I like it to look like blended and rounded throughout the back. And I'll also ask for like some face framing curls. And then typically when I get a haircut, I'll get like 3 inches off or 4 inches off.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know. My hair looks really short after I get it cut.
But it grows like a weed.
It does grow really quickly.
Do you ask for a dry cut, or does it matter?
I like going, oh, that's such a good question, Case. I like going and getting a dry cut, which is also known as like a curl by curl cut. I think it's also called like a diva cut. I've gotten before like an oidad, or there's another cut type that's called like the oidad slice and carve technique. And I don't like that one as much. Whatever you do, if you go somewhere, make sure that they don't use texturizing shears on your curls, because that will break up your curl pattern.
Oh my god, good tip. Good tip.
Just make sure they don't use those bad boys.
Keep those things away from the curls. Next one says, how often do you wash your hair?
I wash my hair. If I'm feeling lazy, sometimes I'll go a week. If I'm not feeling lazy, then I'll go every 3 to 5 days.
So it's like twice a week?
Yeah. I usually only really wash my hair if I like have something going on. Like I washed my hair this morning, and then I washed my hair before date night this week.
What's your routine on days that you don't wash your hair?
Days that I don't wash my hair. That's a good question. What is my routine? Wait. Okay, I know what I do. I remember now. Day 2 or day 3, I'll either do nothing, or I'll take some oil, especially because I live in Colorado, it's really dry here, and I'll just put like some oil on my curls. Usually that's enough to like get them a little bit back into shape. If it's like a day 4 or day 5 and I don't have time to wash my hair, then I will spritz it with some water, and then I'll put some of the curl cream that I previously used on like my style day, and I'll put that curl cream, like very small amount, and I'll just like lightly glaze it over my curls like this. And then I'll scrunch up a little bit. But just a little bit. And usually that's enough. Yeah.
To get them like juicy again?
To get them like to get them looking like a curl again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never gonna look as good as like day one. When I first started out, I remember like sometimes I would wash my hair and then like half the day would pass and my hair was already starting to like fall, like my curls were starting to fall. Or like once I got even further, then it would be like come day one, like the day after I styled or 2 days after I styled, and like my curls were just a mess, and at that point I would just throw it up in a bun or something. But now that they're healed a little bit more, I can go like 3 days without washing and not have to refresh because it'll keep the curl pattern.
Okay, last question is, do you still heat style your hair?
I do it now probably like once every 4 to 6 months.
That's like not a lot at all.
Yeah, it's only like, I only do it like 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh my god.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
So it's like a treat.
It's like a treat. Yeah. Yeah, if there's more curly content that you guys want to see, like specific videos, like we could do an apple cider vinegar rinse or like a diffusing video.
Yeah, there was a lot of diffusing comments. So
Yeah.
maybe you should do that one.
Yeah, I feel like we need to do like a good tutorial on that. But if there's anything that you guys want to see next, then leave it down below in the comments. I hope that this was helpful.
It was very.
I'm not an expert, so like my verbiage isn't that great, but
hype her up in the comments because this was a freaking expert video. Okay.
No.
I wish I had. I'm gonna try this routine and see if I can go straight.
Wait, we actually should do that video. We should do like my curly hair on routine on my straight.
On my straight-haired friend.
Look at your locks though. If you guys want to tune in next week, we're doing another hair video and it's going to be of Casey's extensions.
Yeah. We'll make sure to do more curly content. Well, Lindsay will make sure to do more curly content, and I'll be here for moral support. Because
where will we be without our straight hair friends? Alright, that's it for this video, guys. We will see you next week.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.